Chapter 3. Practice. Number 1. Listen to a teacher talking to a class.
We've been getting some complaints from the new science teacher next door, Mr. Willis. He says the noise coming from here is disturbing his class, so please keep that in mind and keep the noise down when you are working on your projects today. Also, when we are discussing something, please put your hands up and don't shout out any answers. Is everyone clear on that?
What is the teacher mainly talking about? Number 2. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Attention, please. A local theater group has just called to tell us about a charity show they are organizing. They would like some of our students to join the event. They are looking for actors, singers, and also some volunteers to help out backstage. If you are interested, please notify the main office as soon as possible so we can let the theater group know. Thank you.
What is the subject of the announcement? Number 3. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Attention, students. Our librarian, Mrs. Court, has asked me to make an announcement. The school's library funding was cut this year, so there is no money to buy more books. So, Mrs. Court is asking students to donate used books. The library staff will then repair them if necessary and add them to the book collection. Anyone who donates books will be allowed to take out 5 extra books on their library card.
What is the principal mainly talking about? Number 4. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Attention students, the teachers at our school say that too many students are going to the staff room at lunchtime to ask questions about schoolwork. Please ask any questions you have during class time or after your class. Teachers need a break the same as students do, so please do not disturb them while they are eating and relaxing in the staff room. Thank you very much.
What is the subject of the announcement? Questions 5 through 8. Listen to a conversation between a student and a school secretary.
Excuse me, I need some help.
What seems to be the problem?
My little brother, he attends the elementary school across the road, and we're supposed to go home together, but I can't find him.
Well, have you called your mother?
I tried, but there was no answer. She works, you know. That's why I have to take care of my brother. Dad is working too, and he never answers when he's working because he's a surgeon. I don't know what else to do. I can't find him anywhere, and he's supposed to meet me at the gate. This has never happened before.
Did you contact the school principal over there?
I tried, but the school is locked. My brother usually just sits at the gate and waits.
I'll tell you what we can do. First, let's not panic, as there's probably a very good explanation for this. Now think, is there anything else that you're forgetting? Did he say anything to you this morning? Anything at all?
Wait a minute, there was something. He kept talking about his friend's birthday. That's right, he wanted to get his friend a card. He said he was going to the stationery store after school to get his friend a card. I'm supposed to meet him there. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to him because sometimes he just goes on and on about stuff.
There you go. Problem solved. Now go and find him before he goes somewhere else.
Now answer the questions. Number 5. What are the speakers mainly talking about? Number 6. Why does the boy's mother not answer her phone? Number 7. Where does the boy's brother usually meet him after school? Number 8. Why was the boy's brother not waiting at the usual spot? Questions 9 through 12. Listen to a conversation between a student and a school secretary.
Hi, can you help me? I've lost something important. My grandmother's ring. She gave it to me when I was little, and I always wear it. Has anyone handed it in? It's silver with an emerald on it.
A silver ring with an emerald on it. I believe you may owe Mr. Lowe, our janitor, an apology.
What do you mean? Did he find my ring?
Sort of. Mr. Lowe was vacuuming carpets last night when the vacuum cleaner suddenly made a strange noise and broke. He had to take the whole thing apart. There was dust everywhere. Believe me, I saw it. He had parts of the vacuum cleaner all over the floor, and this is what he finally found.
My ring! It's my ring! Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's not me who you should be thanking, it's Mr. Lowe. He spent over an hour getting that ring out of his vacuum cleaner.
Well, I'm really grateful. Please tell him thank you very much from me.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you go to the store and get him a gift to say thanks? Some chocolates or something. That would be a very nice thing to do.
That's a great idea. Thanks. I think I'll do that right after school today.
Now answer the questions. Number 9. What is the girl's problem? Number 10. Why is the ring important to the girl? Number 11. Why did Mr. Lowe take the vacuum cleaner apart? Number 12. What does the man suggest the girl do for Mr. Lowe? Questions 13 through 16. Listen to a conversation between two friends.
Hey, Bree, are you going to come with us to the amusement park tonight?
Tonight? It's a school night. My mom won't let me go on a school night. Why don't you wait and go tomorrow night? I can go then.
It's a special deal tonight, and it's only for one night. Unlimited rides from 6 until midnight for $20. It's a great deal, so I think you should really try to come. Can't you just explain to your mom that this is just a one-time thing? It's not going to happen again.
I don't know. My mom is really strict about school nights. I have to be home before 10 or she grounds me. A few weeks ago, I went to a movie with some friends and I got home at 10:15. I was grounded for 2 weeks.
Wow, that is really strict. Maybe you could come just until 9:30 and your mom could pick you up or something. If we get there right at 6, we'll still be able to go on a lot of rides in 3.5 hours.
I don't know. I just don't think I should go.
Well, would it make any difference if I told you Josh was coming with us? You kind of like him, don't you? And I think he'd like it if you came.
Oh, well, he's nice and all that, but, well, I guess I could ask my mom. Maybe she'll surprise me and let me go.
Now answer the questions. Number 13. What are the speakers mainly talking about? Number 14. Why does the girl say her mother will not let her go? Number 15. Why does the boy say it is a great deal? Number 16. What does the boy suggest the girl do? Questions 17 through 20. Listen to a teacher talk in an American history class.
When we think of the Wild West today, we think of cowboys and Indians. We think of Indian war parties attacking helpless white settlers. And just before it's too late, a few cowboys come and rescue the settlers. Scenes like this one have become symbolic of the Wild West, mainly because of one man, Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill started his own Wild West show and essentially invented the Wild West for the audience who attended his shows. In fact, it is basically the same Wild West we know today. But just how accurate was Buffalo Bill's depiction of the Wild West? Buffalo Bill became famous while helping the U.S. Army during the Indian Wars in the 19th century. But when the Indian Wars were over, the Indians were no longer the enemy. So Buffalo Bill started working with the Indians. He asked them to join his hunting parties for wealthy tourists who wanted to see a real buffalo hunt. Working with the Indians made Buffalo Bill very popular, and newspapers eventually started writing stories about him. But the writers didn't write about his buffalo hunts. They made up stories about Buffalo Bill's fights with Indians instead. These stories became so popular that Bill decided to make a show with his Indian friends about the Wild West. They took their show all over America and Europe, and they showed cowboys and Indians fighting, just like in the stories. But Buffalo Bill knew it was just a show. He didn't really think his Indian friends were bad. In fact, he thought the Indians did nothing wrong. Bill thought the government had treated the Indians poorly. Unfortunately, most of his audiences didn't know what he really thought, and they believed that Buffalo Bill's Wild West show was real.
Now answer the questions. Number 17. What is the talk mainly about? Number 18. What did Buffalo Bill do after the Indian Wars were over? Number 19. What stories did newspapers write about Buffalo Bill? Number 20. What did Buffalo Bill think about the Indians? Questions 21 through 24. Listen to a teacher talking in a European history class.
The Golden Age of England began in 1558 when Queen Elizabeth I took the throne. Prior to Elizabeth, King Edward VI became sick and died before he had any children. So Edward's sister, Princess Mary, became queen in 1553. She ruled England with her husband, Philip II of Spain. Together, Queen Mary and Philip planned to turn England into a Roman Catholic state. But when Queen Mary also got sick and died, everything changed. Elizabeth became queen. At first, people thought Elizabeth would not be a strong ruler because, unlike Mary, she had no husband. But Queen Elizabeth would soon change that opinion. One of the first things Elizabeth did as queen was to change the harsh religious laws Mary and Philip had passed. Elizabeth thought that the people's freedom and happiness was more important than religion, so she let people follow whatever religion they believed in. In the same way, she didn't let religions stop the arts and entertainment. During her leadership, England was full of music, dancing, theater, and sports. In fact, it was during her rule that Shakespeare, the greatest English writer of all time, worked and thrived. By this time, Philip was back in Spain and was the most powerful king in Europe. He planned to take England by force, so he was gathering a large navy of warships to attack England. Philip, and many others, believed England would be easily defeated, especially since it had no king. However, under Elizabeth's leadership, England achieved perhaps its greatest victory in war. It defeated Spain. Due in part to this victory, England would become the next great world power of the time.
Now answer the questions. Number 21. What is the talk mainly about? Number 22. Why did people think Elizabeth would not be a strong ruler? Number 23. Why did Elizabeth let people follow whatever religion they believed in? Number 24. Why did Philip II believe England would be easily defeated? Chapter 6. Practice. Number 1. Listen to a school secretary making an announcement in school.
We will hold our annual Halloween parade tomorrow at 9:30. Students, I want to encourage you to come to school in your Halloween costumes. However, please choose a costume that can be worn over your school uniforms. You may bring props such as swords and brooms. However, toy guns are not allowed. We want everyone to have a safe and enjoyable time. Thank you for your cooperation.
What is the purpose of the announcement? Number 2. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Attention all students, you will not be able to buy drinks and snacks from school vending machines today. They have been turned off. This is because of the soda cans and candy wrappers littering our school grounds. Today, classes will be going outside to clean up. Tomorrow, the vending machines will be turned back on. If students begin to litter again, the machines will be turned off for good.
What is the purpose of the announcement? Number 3. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
Hello, students. I have some good news. Private and group tutoring is now available after school. High school students will be on campus Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 4:30. If you need help in math, science, or English, please stop by the library and get help from a tutor. For more information, talk to Mrs. Hobbs in room 112. Thank you.
What is the purpose of this announcement? Number 4. Listen to a teacher talking in an English class.
Time's up. Please put your pencils down. Congratulations! You have just finished your last vocabulary test. As always, please pass your test to the person to your left and let's mark them now. If you need a red pen, please come pick one up from my desk. Okay, let's start with number 1. Who can give me the answer?
What is probably true about the class? Questions 5 through 8. Listen to a conversation between two friends at school.
What's that? Why don't you just eat the food in the school cafeteria like everyone else?
The food in the cafeteria is pretty boring, and I like eating more interesting dishes. This one is called risotto. My mom made it for me.
It just looks like a lot of rice to me. What's so good about it?
It's delicious, and it is a classic Italian dish. I'm surprised you've never heard of it. It has lots of vegetables, butter, and cheese.
Cheese in a rice dish? That sounds a bit weird.
It might sound weird to you, but it tastes great.
I guess it's just that we don't eat a lot of foreign foods in our house. My mom's not really very experimental in the kitchen. She likes to stick to things she knows.
Well, why don't you try some of my risotto and see what you think? Maybe if you like it, you could ask her to try making it. Who knows? Maybe she wouldn't mind trying something new.
Well, actually, it does look pretty good. You sure you don't mind?
No, go ahead. Try some.
Now answer the questions. Number 5. Why does the girl not eat the cafeteria food? Number 6. What does the boy think is weird about risotto? Number 7. What does the boy imply when he says,
It just looks like a lot of rice to me.
Number 8. What can be inferred about the boy's mother? Questions 9 through 12. Listen to a conversation between two friends.
Hi, Tommy. How was your vacation?
It was really good. I made a new friend named Raphael.
Wow, that's a different name. Where's he from?
He's from Barcelona in Spain. He came over here as a foreign student. I met him on a camping trip with the Scouts, and now we're going to keep in touch.
Oh, he must speak English.
Why do you say that?
I know how well you speak Spanish. We have Spanish class together, remember?
Oh, yeah. Well, he does speak English as a matter of fact. It isn't perfect, but we were able to communicate. And he taught me a bit of Spanish, too. So maybe that will help out in Spanish class. I'm a lot more interested to learn Spanish now because I'd like to visit him in Spain someday.
That's great, Tommy. I wish I had a foreign friend so I could learn about another culture and way of life.
Well, why don't you sign up to be a foreign exchange student? Maybe you could go to Spain during the next vacation.
That's not a bad idea. I might just ask my mom about that when I get home.
Now answer the questions. Number 9. What does the girl mean when she says,
Wow, that's a different name.
Number 10. Where did the boy meet Raphael? Number 11. Why is the boy more interested to learn Spanish now? Number 12. What can be inferred about the boy's Spanish? Questions 13 through 16. Listen to a conversation between two friends.
Matthew, you look kind of down. What's wrong?
Oh, it's my mom. She's stressing me out because she's worried about me putting on some weight. She says I have to stop sitting around the house and take some kind of sports or exercise class after school. But I don't know what to take.
Well, what do you usually do at home? What are you interested in?
I mostly just play computer games.
Okay, then what kinds of games do you play?
Well, I really like soccer and golf. They're my favorites.
So, how about playing some real soccer or golf then?
I've always been terrible at soccer. I'm just not a very good athlete. I'm not fast, all the other boys are bigger than me, and I get tired quickly. It's just embarrassing. I am kind of interested in real golf, but it costs so much. I mean, you have to buy clubs and a membership and all of that.
Why don't you try screen golf? My dad plays it, and he said it's not expensive at all. The action takes place on a big computer screen, but you use a real club to hit with.
Hey, that sounds like something I could do.
Now answer the questions. Number 13. Why is the boy feeling stressed out? Number 14. What is the boy mostly interested in? Number 15. What does the boy mean when he says,
I've always been terrible at soccer.
Number 16. What does the boy imply about real golfing? Questions 17 through 20. Listen to a teacher talking in a history class.
Let's talk about something related to mythology. Fairy tales. A fairy tale is a story, often written for children. Some fairy tales, however, were quite frightening because they had supernatural figures such as ogres, magicians, and dragons in them. The brothers Grimm were well known for their fairy tales, but they were also known as important linguists. Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm were born in Germany over 200 years ago. They are most famous for making a book of fairy tales called Grimm Fairy Tales. To make the book, Jacob and Wilhelm invited many storytellers to their home. Then they listened to the stories and wrote down what they heard. By doing this, they eventually collected over 200 stories, including Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty. These are now some of the most famous fairy tales in the world. But the brothers did more than just write down fairy tales. As well as making their book of fairy tales, the brothers also started writing the first German dictionary. They completed up to the letter E before they died. It was a huge project, and it wasn't finished until over 100 years after the brothers had begun it. The final version had 33 volumes and weighed 84 kilograms.
Now answer the questions. Number 17. What is the purpose of the talk? Number 18. What does the teacher mean when he says,
A fairy tale is a story, often written for children.
Number 19. According to the teacher, how did the brothers Grimm collect so many stories? Number 20. What can be inferred about the first German dictionary? Questions 21 through 24. Listen to a discussion in a history class.
All right, let's move on to another influential 20th century leader, Mohandas Gandhi. In today's class, we are going to focus on Gandhi's early childhood up to the time he left for England, a period that covers about the first 20 years of his life. Who knows something about Gandhi's early background? Let's start with the basics. Yes, Katie?
He was born in India in the 1800s.
That's right. He was born in 1869 in a small Indian town. He grew up in a very religious, middle-class family, and when he was 13, he married his only wife, Kasturba. This marriage was an arranged marriage. In an arranged marriage, a family member picks a person's marriage partner. Now, this is probably a strange idea to most of you, but this was a common practice in India in the 19th century. As a matter of fact, arranged marriages still happen today in some places.
Arranged marriages? Today?
Yes, today. But that's a discussion for another day. Getting back to Gandhi, he was able to attend school. And he was actually quite lucky because in 19th century India, most boys, including Gandhi's brother, dropped out of school after they got married. Gandhi considered himself an average student, but after high school he took the opportunity to travel to London and study law.
Now answer the questions. Number 21. What is the purpose of the discussion? Number 22. What can be inferred about Gandhi's marriage? Number 23. What does the girl imply when she says,
Arranged marriages? Today?
Number 24. Why did most boys in 19th century India not attend school?